Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of our football betting series here on YouTube, Premier League edition. We won 2 of our 3 bets and got pushed back on the Newcastle game last time out, and that means we're sitting on a comfortable 80% winning record. We've won 4 of our last 6 with a single loss and a single pushback. The pushback coming because we covered ourselves when Newcastle took the 2-1 lead against Leeds, but obviously Leeds equalised, and that did mean that we didn't win and didn't lose. So across the weekend just gone, we picked up an £18 profit, which does turn us over into profit for the month of May. I've got 3 more selections in today's episode, so without further ado, let's jump into them. Our first selection sees 14th place Bournemouth playing host to 4th place Manchester United. And Bournemouth are bested in their last game by Crystal Palace, losing by 2-0. The Cherries lost out in every major win predictor and really didn't put up too much of a fight. Statistically, they are averaging 1 goal per game and creating 1.4 key chances per 90. Defensively, though, Bournemouth do concede 1.9 goals against with 8 clean sheets in 36 matches. However, with 39 points, the Cherries are all but mathematically safe at this point, and I'd imagine their motivation to defy a giant on the push for European football such as Manchester United is pretty low. Speaking of United, they picked up another home win in their most recent game against Wolves. They won their game in comfortable fashion by 2-0, and when we look at these season averages, Manchester United score 1.5 goals per game and create almost double that, 2.8 key chances per 90. Defensively conceding at a rate of 1.2 goals against, with 16 clean sheets in 35 matches, they do lead the division. When we look at the head-to-head record, Manchester United won the early season encounter by 3-0, and to be honest, they did so in quite dominant fashion. Zooming out, Manchester United have also won 6 of the last 7 encounters straight up, and I do believe that Manchester United can win here today in order to continue their push for top 4 football. Manchester United to win, full stake in bet number 1. Our second selection sees 10th place Fulham playing host to 12th place Crystal Palace, and Fulham continue our theme of 2-0 winners in their last game out against Southampton, winning by 2-0. This result represented the final nail in the coffin for the Saints as they were relegated down to the Championship. Sticking with Fulham, however, they have won back-to-back games following a bit of a rocky patch earlier on, and on average are scoring 1.4 goals per game and creating 1.6 key chances per 90, defensively conceding 1.4 goals per game with 8 clean sheets in 35 matches. The away side, Crystal Palace, as touched upon in the last selection, won their game by 2-0 against Bournemouth. This does mean that Hodgson's men have now won 2 in their last 3, and they're looking to finish the season strong. The Eagles score 1 goal per game and create 1.3 key chances per 90. They do concede 1.3 goals per game and have 9 clean sheets in 36 Premier League matches. When we look at the head-to-head records, last time out Fulham won this fixture by 3-0, although this was a hard game to bank on as Crystal Palace had to play the final half an hour with just 9 men. When we look at the home and away record, Fulham rank number 11 in the home table with 8 wins, 4 draws and 6 defeats for 28 out of a possible 54 points. They have also won 2 of their last 3 games at Craven Cottage. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, rank number 13 in the division on away form with just 4 wins, 4 draws and 10 defeats to their name, which means they have 16 points from a possible 54. They have also lost their last 2 away trips against Wolves and Spurs, respectively. With Fulham's better home form than Crystal Palace's away form, I would fancy them to pick up some points, but without anything other than pride to play for, I'm not really confident in backing them to win outright here, although I can with confidence lay Crystal Palace on the road. They're safe from the drop, and looking ahead to next season, and I'm not really sure they have the motivation to, or frankly the ability, to beat Fulham at the Cottage. We're going to be laying Crystal Palace in our second bet. Our third and final selection is a bit of a relegation scrap as 15th place West Ham play host to 18th place Leeds United. And West Ham were beaten by Brentford by, you guessed it, 2-0. A game in which West Ham definitely had their focus on the European Conference League, making 9 changes in a heavily rotated side. And it does appear that the European competition has proven to be a distraction for the Irons. They've won just 1 in their last 5 Premier League fixtures. West Ham average 1.1 goals per game and create an average of 1.6 key chances per 90, defensively conceding 1.4 goals against with 9 clean sheets in 36 league matches. The away side Leeds shocked a few neutrals in their comeback from 2-1 down to draw 2-2 against Newcastle in their most recent game. And whilst this draw is good on its own, Leeds are still winless in their last 7 games. Across the season, they are scoring 1.3 goals per game and creating 1.6 key chances per 90, but defence has let them down. 2 goals against per game, 5 clean sheets in 36 league matches. When we look at the head-to-head record, the last game resulted in a 2-2 draw between these two sides, with Leeds United having a slight statistical edge. In terms of patterns, there's been a healthy mix of wins, losses and draws for both sides. However, one pattern that is apparent is over 2.5 goals. 4 of the last 5 league games have seen over 2.5 goals, and when we focus on each club individually, West Ham United have seen over 2.5 goals in 5 of their last 7 games, and when we look at Leeds, over 2.5 have come in each of their last 3 games and in 10 of their last 11. West Ham still have eyes on Europe, and they may suffer from a slight hangover because of this. I expect further rotation and perhaps some flimsy defending for them. As for Leeds, flimsy defending is part of their identity this season. I'm going to go for over 2.5 goals for another full stake to finish this episode. So there we have it, 3 selections in today's episode, starting off with Bournemouth versus Manchester United. We're going to take the away team to pick up a win on the road. Odds of 1 to 2, £20 stake to return £10.80. Down in London, we're going to be laying Crystal Palace against Fulham. Odds of 1 to 2, £20 stake to return 10. And then on the Sunday, West Ham versus Leeds. We're expecting goals in that game. Odds of about 9 to 10, £20 stake to return 17.80. So across this weekend, we're going to be risking £60 to hopefully pick up as much as £38.60. Will we do so? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune into the next episode. But if you have made it to this point in the video, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. And as always, have yourself a lovely day.